Bonsoir and good evening. So last time I couldn't stream last week, I kind of messed up. And as you can see right now we are second cup and we'll try simply to get to be promoted one cup, maybe not the 7 games tonight, but we'll play until so far then. So simply let's go. Okay, and we play a third cup with an elo of 1970. We have a slightly better elo, but okay, so I will go for inner song configuration, and he did play not so many games, so he has a very good win rate ratio. Like, yeah, we have still a better one, but that's something to consider. And he also went for inner elephant, so that's the classic symmetric position with both players playing elephants to the center. So the difference between our cannon structure and our pawn structure is that at some point I may be able to use this file to get my rook in the play like this, while he won't be able to use quickly this rook since this cannon is under control. But there's other things to consider also. Okay, giving space for the elephant or the knight, and he's already getting some play with the rook. Probably wants to use an elephant to, sorry, I messed up the arrow, to get some pressure on the pawn with the row. That's the classic idea. And the counter is to bring the knight, so that if the rook goes there, then I simply can push. Okay, but so he wants to exchange. That's a bit weird because he plays like 1-2 moves, and that was his like active rook, and so yeah, I will take it, and that may also weaken this structure a bit. Okay, so what will come will be like pawn there and the rook right in the play. So I have to activate some pieces, and even if he brings the pawn, I guess I won't take with the cannon. That may be too dangerous if a rook there, for example. So there's no need anymore for me to go with the rook like this, because by doing that I bring my pawn to the center and I link them and I open my file at the same time, so no need for trying something else. And yeah, I will move that, so if I'm able to exchange this pawn, then I will have 2 pawns that I will be able to link against one isolated pawn. So that would be slightly better for me, but still, if I push, he's not forced to take. He can, for example, go there. So that's why I'm trying to see how I can get some advantage from this. Okay, and I will have to mind that little hole here that would fork the cannon and the knight, because if the pawn goes there, then check or taking this. Alright. Now I go for the exchange. Okay. So the elephant doesn't threaten yet the pawn, but that's something to pay attention, because a knight can go in quickly and there's a lot that he may try. So I could try to bring the knight that forced the exchange and use that majority. Yeah, because this pawn will be hard to stop since there is not so much counter. Maybe knight here, and the rook's already blocked that square. Okay, so he falls back with the elephant, and that's where pushing is not a great idea yet, because he simply brings back the pawn, and I'm forced to exchange a pawn that moved a lot against his pawn there. So maybe I could try to use that weakness there. Okay, that's threatening the pawn, and also threatening to weaken a lot there. Hey! So I'm thinking about rook here to give support there, but the issue is that the knight comes, and I'm not so happy with that, because or I wasted a tempo or the knight goes there, so that's what I want to avoid for now. Okay, I'll push so that if he comes there I simply go back to the side, and that will lose this. No, not so new interface. There's been a little updates of the software, so I simply adapted, but that's, I wouldn't say new. Okay, that's the way to protect the pawn. Now I can force the push. Or this. In that case, since I have a nice attack there, I don't care if I lose a cannon for a knight, because I think I will get some advantage there. So I'll take the pawn, and he can take back the pawn. So that would be equal, but the knight may be dead, or simply do that. And in terms of points, that's equal, because that was a pawn on a knight for a cannon. But in terms of dynamic of pieces, my elephant can quickly go there, the knight also, while his pieces are a bit more passive. Okay, and here comes the nasty ideas. That would be a fork on that cannon. That's, I would say, weak, considering the pawn structure is not so great. Okay, let's do that. And as you can see, he has to retreat the cannon to that spot, while I have an empty file there, which is not so advised. But probably that's one of the only moves that will save the day for him. So I'll go with the elephant, and now there is 2 attacks there, so I can simply take. And if he goes and try to take this pawn, that's a big issue, because that pawn is protected. So if rook takes, then rook check, and I simply can take, even if I lose the rook, that's a net exchange. So there I take, and now this one is protected. So we have a great advantage in terms of position. He has only one guard in the fortress, but that may be an annoying trick. So okay, I play a bit defensive. I was thinking about playing the rook there, but maybe that's not the best to do it directly. Okay, maybe that's, that's to dig here. But now I can play this move. So the idea is to check here and win the cannon. So he may play, I don't know, cannon to this spot or to the middle. But there the cannon are doubled there without so much purpose. Of course I cannot take the elephant because there is the other cannon. But that king is not in a great shape, so now I use the pawn since the fortress is not so well defended, and he has to go with the rook. Okay, that gives me some time. I don't know, maybe he wanted that to bring back the king to... Oh, sorry, you cannot see because of the analysis mode. But by moving the guard, he simply gives the elephant there, so that's why he resigned. But he was kind of paralyzed. He needed to push there and try something, but I would have a a lot of tempo. And that game was, yeah, pretty well engaged. I think he was wrong trying to play with his rook and go and exchange with mine. That's kind of waste of tempos. And right now we are playing right side elephant, and I saw that was inner side, so maybe not the best move to begin for me. I will have to try to fix that. Okay, so he could come back and gain the rook, so I'm giving some space. Thanks. Yep. And yeah, he'll be opening on that side, which I don't see those kind of play very often. Alright, so I'm going with this cannon because his rook is on that side of the board, so I want to be able to defend, and at the same time, since the cannon left that square, I may have some space for my rook to this side of the board. So there's an elephant that will be coming to the place at some point. This one or this one? I think this one is a bit more wise, because there's a big column that may open here. Yeah, and that's what I was telling you about when I moved that pawn at the very beginning. Now there's the the cannon and the elephant threatening. Could try to take there, but he may simply bring the rook and the elephant is dead. So that's not a solution. I think I will have no choice but to exchange both pieces. So I bring my cannon because after that I will play knight here and try to grab back something there, but he saw what was coming. Okay. The idea is to sacrifice the elephant. So I don't care because I was already planning to lose an elephant for 2 pawns. So even if it happens there because of the rook, that's the same problem, so I'm not so bothered by this move. Okay. The idea maybe to get some play with the cannon once I bring the guard in the center, and also I secure my king. When the king is there, the spots to consider are with this elephant, because this elephant can jump there, and those 2 squares they may check. So that's, I would say, more long-term pattern to remember when the king is there, and then when there is an elephant in the center, that the square are really in the range of the elephant that can be reached quickly. Alright, so he goes for this one with the rook, and this knight is slightly weak. Okay, there's a little combination I want to try. Okay, I thought he would play a rook there. So I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, I forgot that he could come back with the rook. Still I prefer not to exchange the rook since I am not winning at the score. I am half a point behind, so I prefer to keep material on the board. So my king is a bit more secure, my piece a bit more developed, but I have less score. I could bring the rook there because there is a pinning situation there, but he simply brings the rook here and the attack is done. So I keep that move in mind. Maybe trying something with the elephant there. Okay, no, now definitely I want to bring my elephant. But before I force the rook to go here. This is the only move that defends. Or the knight or the cannon, because if he moves the knight, let's say here, then simply rook takes cannon. Oh, he could go there also, but I think that's not the best move. So there I am giving the rook, but there is a, I would say, a classic checkmate. That's elephant check, like this, and that's also double check with the cannon. There's no way to flee anywhere, so if he takes the rook, that's directly checkmate. I think he saw that, so that was a good solution. Check. I don't want to trap my elephant to his place, so I'm not so happy. It would be great if I could bring a cannon to this file, but there is no fast way to do so. Okay, I prefer to move the knight because there was a risky column and the knight was weak there, and I played the knight there so that I could try something. So now the mate doesn't work anymore. That's important to see. And I don't have so many time left, so I'll simply buy some time. And that's time to go for this rook. There, to protect the weak pawn and at the same time the elephant. And if I went there directly, knight here would threaten it, so there was no real interest in going there. Okay. Nah, I'm giving this square, that's not so great. But at the same time, if he goes for here, pawns come back, knight takes, and the pawn comes back and the knight is a bit trapped off the game. Still not sure that's worth it for me. Those two pawns are kind of annoying because they are very solid. Otherwise I could bring the elephant and simply threaten this. But now I'm a bit struggling to find a way to break this. If he comes there, I simply bring the guard, and that's fine for me because that's a move I will do whatever so that I can play with the cannon. Basically he has two squares. But as you can see, both of them are far from the play. Probably here would be the most active, because when he pushes, he gains back this mobility, and he may be able to get a way to recycle this. Okay, cannon there doesn't achieve nothing, and that will be hard for me to... Oh, I could try things like this. Yeah, that would gain the knight, because this is handled by this cannon and this is handled by this one, and there's nowhere to go. Okay, he's thinking about playing to that spot. So I guess I'll just wait and leave that knight trapped there. And if he goes for this, then I bring back the pawn. And with that knight, I have some ideas, like maybe putting some pressure here, or it will depend. If I bring the knight there, then I block that square for the elephant. Okay, he also bought some time. Okay, so that's closing the rook and preventing it from going back. No, I'm not sure that was a good idea, because the cannon can sacrifice. That's... yeah, okay. I cannot resist. Once the cannon left, if the rook goes here, this is not checkmate, because this guard can come back. Okay, and he didn't took the knight because he was not forced to do so, so I will simply wait that I could take. So that will give a piece for retreating the knight. I cannot eat the elephant because of the cannon, and if the elephant goes there, I simply bring my rook to this spot, which is good because it pins the rook. Maybe that's what I should have done directly, to go here. Okay. I can't really let the knight take, that would be way too dangerous for the cannon, so I'm back. But the difference is that if the rook moves there, then I can take for free the knight, so I think he created a small weakness there. Okay, now he wants to take this, but I am free and I'm going out. So one guard in the fortress is a bit weaker, and I have two cannons that have nice influence. Okay. Next move, I can sacrifice here. And he saw that. Okay, the idea is that if the elephant goes, for example, when I move the knight, then I can simply push, and that protects the rook and at the same time attacks the elephant. He may have this square, but that's not a big deal. And now he's completely giving up the center for threatening this knight, and that's quite interesting. So if he takes the knight, that's rook takes elephant, checkmate. And the problem is that the elephant covers this square, so he can take my knight. Yeah, that's the only reasonable move. Still there is some pressure that I am bringing to this specific square, and my idea will be to check like this. Okay, so he's going for the material, but what's good for us is that he's releasing even more pressure here, so there's absolutely no hesitation to go for the kill of the king. Because that's a very nice cannon we have here. And that would be complicated to defend. I think he missed it because that's a checkmate in 2 moves, so that's time for the... No, sorry, for the piggy move. So yeah, let's simply go there. Yeah. So there was yeah, but this is the analysis board, so no, nothing else to do. That was a nice game. We had more dynamic but less material, and I think he made the bad choice to remove the defenders, especially the rook. Let me check. Yeah, oh that's yeah, that's because of the new update. I should create a new like OBS scene to correct the layout, but I've been too lazy to do so until now. Petrus, maybe if you want to play together, that's something we can do right now. Because I already have you on Kakao Janggi, so if you want to play. Okay, whatever. Okay, I'll play one more like this, and maybe Petrus, if you want to play after, we could do that. Alright, and let's go to play with Cho, and we are playing 1 cup, so that's the rank just before 1 dan, and we get to win like this. I don't know. Okay, not the best game. Sorry, I just... Up. Alright, so now we are back to Han. It's a bit sad because I prefer to play with Cho. That's more... there's more initiative, and he went for left side elephant against inner elephant, and most of time you open like this when you are with side elephant like that, so I'll try to see how to deal with it. It's because of this famous elephant and cannon pressure. So here, sorry, I was able to open that rook, and on the other side I was not able to do so. If the cannon goes back, that's not trapping the rook because the elephant is here, so I don't mind this. And wow, that's a lot of games, that's like 20,000 games. Very impressive. And I don't want him to close my column since my pieces are already developed on that side, so I already moved the rook so that if he goes there I can go like anywhere I want here. No, not in the center of course, but I'm free. Okay, the next game I'll try to be fast for this one, so that we can play after together. Okay, so I want to put some pressure so that he has to defend. And since he defended, now I can get control of this file, and I will simply come back like this. You have to pay attention about the elephant there. Okay, I check so that I block this elephant. And as you can see, I don't want to bring the knight there. That could seem to be nice so that it gives a jump for the cannon, but the issue is that that would be a bit weak because of that rook and that elephant that can sacrifice some the piece there. Careful, this rook is this square is not available, and yeah, I need to think a bit more like long term. Okay, I also need to consider these potential threats. Those are simply things to remember, because it can be it can become really a problem if you don't consider them. Okay. See, if he pushes, the rook is threatened. Okay. Well, that's time to come home, I guess, and I will be bringing some pressure to this pawn, for example, by jumping and jumping back with the cannon. Okay, that's a weird move. Maybe he wants to push. But I have this square that is pretty nice, or even this one. Okay, so he does it with the knight. Not sure yet. Yeah, I think I prefer this one. Even if it may be a problem if the cannon comes back and then jumps somewhere like this, that would bring some threats. Yeah, that's what he's trying to build. So let's back something on some threats also from my side. Okay, that's a small hidden threat. If I take, he takes, and the cannon there is hanging. Ah, but you see that, and he goes for threatening my rook. And that's okay if I lose the 2 guards for the elephant, the 2 pawns for the elephant, because I will have better position for attacking after that. Alright. So that cannon that wasn't playing will be soon able to have some friends, I would say, and he's going for a kind of repetition. No, I don't want to go somewhere else. Okay, that's the warning about repetition. Yeah, for now we are 3 victory, 1 game, a guy resigning directly, but apart from that there was nice games. He's trapping my cannon. And I'm not sure there is a proper way to save it. Hmm.
10초 남았습니다.
I think I will have to give up the cannon for the guard. I don't see any satisfying way. So that's bringing a little threat for this guard here, that pawn, sorry, and also maybe sacrifice the elephant to check. Why not go for the knight, because cannon cannot jump above cannons. Alright, so now that's protecting. Yeah, stupid answer then. And he will go back to the center, which is quite annoying. But Actually, since now this square is blocked, I can try maybe something with the rook. Okay, I'm a bit in a nothing to lose state, so I will sacrifice this one. He could go there, but that would mean pinning the cannon. Yeah. No, there's a threat that's... I don't really see how I can win this, because I have majority of rook for attack, but that's not enough here in that situation. It would have been better, I think, to push there for him. Not sure. At the same time, that gives another defense to that elephant. We will see, we will see. Okay. It's time to come back. That's to open up this rook, of course. Alright, so I can count on recycling the cannon wherever I want there because of the rook, but still, if the knight, for example, is not there, you will be able to defend in a solid way. Yeah, maybe relocating the cannon. That's not my, I would say, top priority yet. That's a bit annoying because that elephant will be very out of play. Okay, that's protected, but my idea is to come back there, and I think I won't be able to avoid exchanging the rooks. Okay. So, elephant takes. Okay. Yo. There's the knight, there's the rook, and I'm not planning to move this knight so far, unless I have something else. Right. Now that's time to do something with this pawn. So I may try to flee here, but even if that's open a file, I won't exchange the rook, I will simply go back there. Okay, king back to the middle, so that's good because we have the cannon in the middle. So the idea is that if I take with the knight, and before my rook was my knight was pinned because of the rook, but now I can move the knight, and since the pawn protects the rook, that would lead to an exchange. So the score is 1.5 points advantage for him, and since I am Han, that's not a great score. Okay, that's probably a bad move because he will get the influence and he already has a cannon, whereas I don't have any, and he has the majority of pieces, so he can choose to remove them, but I will take that risk. Okay, that's potentially a discovery attack if the knight moves. But I've seen worse, I would say. Elephant takes, knight check, rook, and I'm fine. Okay, wasn't expecting that, to be honest.
10초 남았습니다.
Okay, I have to hide my rook from this elephant square because knight to the center, I would say, is coming. That would be annoying also.
초 남았습니다.
Maybe by defending I can have some peace for this. Okay, so there is an elephant check discovery that is coming right now.
초 남았습니다.
Yeah, I would say that was kind of expected.
초 남았습니다.
Rook there, king check, cannon takes, and that's stinky. Okay, not so convinced, but that's what I try. So if I go here, then rook, then king, then rook checkmate. So that's being said.
10초 남았습니다.
Can go for this stupid move. Yeah, of course. The good news is that the knight is for free because this is pinned. I mean, I gave a knight, but I didn't lose a piece until now. This is protected. And oh. I think he threw the game. Unless I missed something, but now since the rook is not there, there's no, I would say, influence at all. I will lose this knight, but not really.
10초 남았습니다.
Okay, I'm going there because I don't want the rook for check. I have to mind the check here. Okay, if he took there, I could take here because... Oh, no, I couldn't because there was the cannon. Alright, it's time to remove the trash. And we have both an empty fortress. Difference is that I have a free rook. The knight is threatened, so that we check. Rook takes, I don't care. Let's put some pressure to this elephant. Yeah, cannon there is... looks like the only way. Alright, rook there, cannon takes knight, and seems to be over. Okay, that gives the support for the cannon. There is still the same problem here, so that's checkmate in 2 if nothing's happened. No, a bit more than 2 because the rook cannot go here if there is a king because the cannon is used. That's so desperate. Okay. Rook check, king anywhere. Here, let's say. Okay, and the easy way to finish is simply to take, because he will have only 7 points remaining, so the game will stop just after the move I do, and you can see that at a big junk threat, and I will simply avoid that, even if big junk does not count on that. Alright, so maybe I should have lost this one, but yeah, he missed that. The rook was defending our guard. And right now that will be a bit different, because I will be playing with Petrus that is here together. Yeah, still GG. Sometime I throw games, sometime other people throw games, so Let's do that 5 minutes 30 seconds. Alright, and here we go. And I am with Han again. I think so. So here he's 6 cup, but I don't know his real level, so I be very careful. Alright, going for right side elephant, so I don't open there, and until now those are the classic moves. I go like this. So since he's following, I'm not describing all my ideas because I have to keep some mystery in the play and to try to be a bit more fair. But of course I'll try to develop this rook. And I think at some point he may open for the elephant and maybe target this. Okay, maybe elephant there and trying to put some pressure with this or the elephant. Okay, I wasn't expecting this one, and I'll use that to link my pawn and maybe gain the column, or he can come back somewhere so that this is still but since this is protected, I'm not really annoyed yet, and if he goes there he simply loses a tempo. So yeah, a square to go maybe here. There again, no rush. If he goes there to double the attack on the pawn, I simply retreat the cannon so that I gain the protection, so that's solid. And yeah, let's link the pawn and get that column. So that's time also to think about those kind of moves. Here it doesn't work because the knight simply comes there and the cannon is already defended, but those may be some interesting ideas at some point. And he goes for hiding the king, which can be clearly understood. Okay. So here I'm kind of forcing the move to go to the center or to move somewhere, because I prefer that the knight goes there to the center instead of the elephant, because when the knight is in the center he has like not so much. Maybe when the pawn will be pushed there is some opening, but here that leaves that elephant in my opinion weaker, because when the elephant is there there could have been some threat to break that with the rook, while with the knight that's more enjoyable for me. Of course I cannot take the cannon because that's well defended, but I'm fine with that. And at the same time, if he goes, for example, to protect the king like this, that's directly losing the elephant because of the pinning. So he has to go with this squad. Yeah, maybe that's not what he was intending at the very beginning. Maybe that's what he wanted to do. Okay. Trying to consider the the next steps. And I think I did blunder. Maybe he could take this knight and get the rook after. But now I'd be retreating because that's, in my opinion, too dangerous to stay here. Alright, I don't want to have my rook like blocked there if the elephant moves, because I don't feel that I have enough attack, and at the same point I am protecting those kind of squares if the elephant joined there. So he achieved a safe castling, but still we have the cannon there. I will try to make good use of this. There was something I was trying to do, but I'm not sure I will find a solution to do that. So I will simply gain some space so that there is less and less material here, because for him that will be complicated to bring a cannon to this specific row. So this is what I will target. On his side, he may try, I don't know, to optimize this or this. Those are not playing so much. This elephant neither, as I can say. And he decides to close the column. That's a bit annoying for me, because I had some idea, and he will be able to exchange that rook that actually doesn't play so much anymore. Still, if he exchanges the rook, then he will have I would say, a very weak pawn here, and that's why I'm okay with this. So that's enabling a way to play for the elephant, and at the same time bringing more material there. It's sad that if I could bring a knight there, that would checkmate directly, because the king is a bit entangled. And my idea was actually to trap the rook, but I won't be able, since this is now a protected square. Otherwise the rook was dead in that position, because all of those are controlled, and if he goes here, here, I could simply bring a pawn. If he goes there, I bring that one, and that's dead. And if he goes there, I could go with the cannon and get the rook, but that's not anymore on the table. So yes, yeah, I will exchange the rook so that the pawn there stands weak. Okay, I'm not bringing the rook there, that's useless, because he simply does this and gain the column, and my rook is back. So, but of course I'm trying to get some space and some play for the rook. For example, playing here would be great, but that's not possible for now. Okay, so that's bringing a pawn back to the center. Yeah, you have to be careful that the elephant is not protected. For example, if the knight moves, he couldn't go for a pawn push because he could take with the cannon. And if after the elephant moves somewhere, there is still a nice checkmate here. Okay, that's time to come back, but we achieved to get some threats here. Elephant takes, rook there, and I have the elephant and the knight threatened, so that's not great. Let's... yeah, bring that knight here. So I'm bringing more pieces to that side of the board because this is where the action is happening. And I hope that I will be able to sneak there in the with my knights or what comes to actually block this king. Alright, so I could go for the pawn. I'm checking that the elephant is not trapped. Yeah, I'll go for this. Rook there, maybe. But on the rook here, I simply bring the pawn there. And if rook takes, then I push and I push, and I could grab this pawn also. So I think that was a better move for him to keep the protection there. Alright. I have to come back because I don't want him to push since if the elephant is there I can take with the cannon. And you can see that his pawn structure is kind of weaker. Those there, and yeah, because the pawn was advanced, then I could take here. And the elephant there, not threatening so much, and he may be trapped at some point actually. Okay, this is pinned, so that's a way to threaten both. So he may simply recycle that cannon. That was not what I was chasing. What's on my interest now is this weak pawn with the column there, because once the cannon moves, let's say here, I can simply retreat that pawn, so that leaks that gain the column, and that's also a threat, a double threat here, with no clear way to avoid this. Even if he goes for cannon there, I can take cannon check, and since the rook is protected, that's not working. Alright, so now the elephant to the corner. I'm not sure to see the idea, because this square now I may go there. I can't because there is the cannon, but I may at some point. So I like my position, and I will simply try to optimize before attacking. So that's to get some space for the knight. Okay, so now we have a double attack here.
(10초) 남았습니다.
And we will also gain the defense on that elephant by moving the cannon. Alright, because if he moves the pawn we can come back there, and if he doesn't move the pawn we can come back here, which is a strong position at short term, because it checks. And yeah, we can gain the elephant. Check. Seems a bit complicated. I think the only move that holds is to bring back the cannon, otherwise there's a lot of nasty things that are happening, and yeah, I will take the elephant. So, and I'm even thinking about taking the knight. Yeah, because this is out of play, and the two cannons, they won't be able to do so much like this.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Alright, and now I will simply break with the rook. Okay, so that's for pushing, but I won't take, because I don't want the elephant to get back in the play. For example, threaten that knight. That knight is nice here, so if he pushes I simply go there, and that's a nice square for my elephant. I threaten the cannon. He cannot really go there because he has no support yet, and even if he is able to bring the rook, I can bring the guard. Yeah. That's a bit annoying.
초 남았습니다.
I didn't really want it to move this knight, but I guess I don't have the choice. Okay, yeah, as you can see, that was what I was talking about. There is two solutions. No, I think that's the best. Because I could also use this elephant, but that would mean losing this pawn by for example, bringing the guard. But since the rook is not really attacking right now, then it's secure. And if the rook moves, I will be able to go in with mine, and it's okay if I lose the elephant. Yeah, he takes, I push, and that leads to exchanging the rook, or he loses his elephant back. And if he exchanges the rook, the two cannons are not so useful in a final like this, and there is a lot that can be done with the pawn and the knight. So yeah, that kind of forced because the elephant was there, and here we have a fork, here we have the pawn coming back. We have a fork like this, gaining that pawn. So that's long play, but we'll be simply able to grab like those two pawns, and after that push that majority to the fortress. There is already one guard and not two, so that will break in for sure. Okay,
10초 남았습니다.
I don't fork with the knight because the knight is worthing more in terms of activity than the cannon in those kind of endgames. So simply bringing the pawn closer to the fortress, and if I take, he takes, and he will be able to reposition this, but he will be struggling because I will be able to bring the pawn to this specific square. I don't care at all losing this, because there are some really nasty threats right now going on. Yeah. I think that's checkmate in 3 moves. Check, check. No, it's not, but it's really hard to defend. Check. That was the last piece not playing. And as I said, I think that was 2 games ago, when you have an elephant in the center, when the the opponent is in the center, there is this specific path that can go, and now there is the checkmate in 1 move. The way to defend was to go with the guard, and that's how it works. So that doesn't count for reaching the next league, because that was a friendly game and they doesn't count, but still. So yeah, thanks for playing, Petrus. That was a nice game. And I will do a last one against like random people. and we're playing fantastics. And with Han again. As you can see, I'm not so much playing like different variation because the level is increasing, and that's, I would say, the configuration where I am the more at ease with. For now, that's exactly the same beginning that my game with Petrus, but it was like symmetric. But here he decides to open both rook side. Okay, go for the knight. No matter if that elephant play. That's kind of puzzling move because he already opened and he plans to transfer to the other side, which I'm not sure is a good idea. So yeah, I may be puzzled by this decision. Let's see what happens. And now no, I'm not getting what's happening. Okay, let's set a small trap here. Because if I go there, then he brings the pawn and I can take this for free because this is pinned. Alright, that's a way to prevent the rook. What about this? That sounds very silly, and yeah, no, that's because I will have an isolated pawn after that, and that will simply fall. Okay, but this is a move that can be played actually. No, I play a safe defense. Yeah. Oops. I don't want the rook to go there and have the double attack here. So now if the rook goes there, I simply push. And this knight is defended because of that elephant, for information. So what's to come, maybe simply to finish castling or pushing the rook to exchange. And he is going for the exchange. I'm fine with that, but I will let him take, because that would bring back the knight here, but that will leave the possibility for any piece to go. And after, what I do is this, so that I can block or exchange the rook and get somewhere with, but with this coming, there may be a lot of threats here. I'm not sure I would be able to fight this. Yeah, okay. If elephant there, then I remove the pawn, so that's kind of breaking the chain, but actually that's the best way to defend it. So we are more on a long game because major pieces has been exchanged, there's no rook anymore, and we are still equal in terms of material because he has not lost anything, neither did I. Okay, I wasn't expecting the elephant to that spot. So what's this square? Yeah. Not bad, not bad. But I go with mine so that I can jump with the cannon there and target those pawns. Okay, if he goes there, I go here so that I don't lose the knight. He can go for elephant takes. I'm a bit afraid of what he could do if, for example, I remove this. That would be annoying, the fact that he may push this. So, for now I'm bringing those two out layers back to the center. Not good, not good. So he push, elephant takes, knight takes. cannon takes, guard takes, cannon takes. Can still try this, but I'm not sure that's worth it.
10초 남았습니다.
Okay, that's for sure good. Okay, so this pawn is not in a great shape.
초 남았습니다.
I have to secure a retreat square, for example. If this happens, I don't want to have my cannon to this side.
초 남았습니다.
No, that's bad. Okay, back home. Meh. Not good, not good. Oh, okay, so that I would push, but that wasn't working for my side. Okay, let's get some time. I think I will sacrifice this because I'm not able to do anything with the cannons, so I think that's better to try something with the knights. Okay, cannon takes, pawn takes, cannon takes. That's equal in terms of points, but slightly different once you consider the remaining pieces. Okay, I will simply retreat far away because that's to come and that's to come. Back off. Okay, this holds. Oh no. Yeah, I completely missed this one. And I don't believe there's a way to recover from that. Nah. Okay, I'm trying something, but I hope that it takes, but the best move is elephant takes, of course. Oh. Okay, I cannot let this for too long. Yeah. Next step. But I cannot really check with the knight because the cannon would simply take. I can try to bait, like like this, but that's still not a checkmate. Same issue here. There is the diagonal. What if I go with the elephant? Check. No. Check. If he brings the guard here, that's actually checkmate, but I could gain the cannon by pinning. Oh no, that would have been a repetition. What's the best here for these squares? Alright, back to the center. No. Cannot take because that's protected. Yeah, I don't want him maybe to risk to take with both. But now that will be a bit more complicated to finish. I could try this, like he sacrifice expecting that he can take back the pawn, but there is a fork in the very end of the combination. Okay, let's forget this. But this pawn is like kind of dead. And yeah, there's no way to threaten the knight in one move, so I will be retreating the cannon. And now that's slightly different, because with two linked pawns like this I will be able to trade for better material, and therefore get the win at the score. Okay, this is not working at all. I don't know why he did that, because this cannon is out of position and there's no real advantage to recycle here or here. So, not sure, not sure. Okay, this is seems to be interesting. Okay, that's a nice spot for the knight. And I will be simply pushing. This before. I could exchange and gain the lead for the score, but that's not the best, I would say. I will do that once I'm sure that there's no coming back for him. Okay, that's not on the table anymore. So I'm calculating the set of squares that I may reach with my elephant. Okay. I want to be able to push this one. If he sacrifice, I don't really mind. Okay, so that may be a way to exchange. At the same time, I'm targeting that cannon that is like very weak. So my idea is to bring the elephant so that the knight moves somewhere, and after that to threaten the cannon and take it. I think he saw that coming. So let's move. If I pushed this pawn, that would be losing because there was a fork here. Right, that's very forced. Could try to go here, but meh, I don't really mind. And that cannon is not in a great square there. Maybe I should try to go here. I think that's the best. Okay. Knight check. King moves. No. Yeah. But no, that doesn't work. It was a complete failure to give this. Still, I'll try to grab the cannon, like cannon there, and then there is no real squares. But yeah, that's breaking the threat, and that's a great move. Okay, please get out. I could go for this. Yes. Take. Bad idea. Not really useful. Take. Oh. Yeah, why not? Oh. Oh, that's over. Yeah, not sure. Don't really like how that game finished. I blundered when the knight could take. Oh, that was the the worst move ever. Yeah. Okay. Let's stop there. Kind of stupid game here, but my time to throw. Okay, so 3 wins. That's fine. Next time I guess we'll finish that and reach 1 cup. So yeah, thank you for following, and I wish you a good night, good evening. Bye.